Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Okay, so Jen, I was just freshening up my necks around,
Yes.
and I set up this new layered look. What do you think?
It is like feminine, dainty. It's all the things. It's giving, as they say.
And I did not realize like what a high-end designer inspired piece this is. Like the designer version of this is really expensive.
I can see why. I mean, the detail on our version is spectacular. The chain in and of itself, I am obsessed with the chain on that necklace.
I do love a decorative chain that's not so just standard issue. And then the crystals here in the antique key.
And the crown that's inside of the key, like so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I'll flip it around. It flipped again.
I must have put it backwards on the neck. I'll have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
So
I love that.
Anyway, that's
and such a great sale right there.
Right?
Hello.
Buy two.
Yeah.
Then the Cairo staff.
Yep.
And then the Eternal as the bonus. Oh.
She's beautiful.
Good point. All right, everybody. Thanks for enjoying our little jewelry moment there. But as you're all jumping on, comment live if you're watching live. Comment replay if you are watching the replay. And if you were invited to watch this by a member of our stylist team, go ahead and tag them now so that he or she knows that you're here. Because Jen and I are just so super excited to be here right now, just to chat a little bit about the business that we love so much, that is perhaps interesting you at this time, and maybe see if some of the things we love would be some of the same things you would really enjoy. So my name is Michele Zito. I'm a company VP here at Park Lane Jewelry, and I'm so excited to be here with Jen Ewert. Jen and I have had the pleasure of working together for 9 years now?
Yeah.
9 years. And Jen was I never sold anything before, just came fresh-faced, newborn, toddler, working full-time, and just really wanted to supplement that income at the time so that, you know, different decisions could be made in the house. Jen, tell us a little bit about that, actually.
Yeah, totally. So like Michele said, I had a 3-month-old and a 2.5-year-old. And I was working full time when I was introduced to Park Lane. Actually, I was 9 months pregnant when I was introduced to Park Lane.
Wow.
And then a sweet friend of mine, when my Kylie was 3 months old, was like, Jen, like, you should really do this. Like, I just started, I'm having so much fun. And I think it'd be so fun if we did this together. And I tossed it around, thought about it for like a couple weeks maybe. And then after my husband and I, talked about it, we were like, well, it really would be really great to have an additional stream of income coming in so that we could pay off my student loans. Because I wanted to get those done out of the house, right? I didn't want to keep having to pay that out of our budget that we had from both of our incomes.
Yeah.
And so having just that focused money coming in where we could name it and say we are taking care of this with that stream of income was so cool. And to watch that number just keep going down and keep going down, and being able to have Park Lane work around what we were already doing. It's not like I had to, adjust my full-time schedule or be additional like burden to my full-time schedule. I remember one of the things that really surprised me is that I was so grateful to be able to leave the house when my kiddos were so young and to have some like girl time, right? We could share a glass of wine together. We could play with beautiful jewelry. And that really surprised me because it wasn't work. It was fun. Like I was able to, because my job was also a pretty high stress job. So I was really able to walk away from the high stress job, walk into a living room or a restaurant or whatever it was, and be able just to have fun and play with jewelry and smile and laugh and not be called mom and not have spit up on my shoulder. And, all those things. As women, we wear a lot of hats. And so that was really a surprising thing to me when I first started. And then we were able to pay off those loans. And then we were able to kind of adjust that income accordingly and have been able to do a lot of different things with the income that Park Lane has continued to bring into our family.
I love it so much. I know that the credit cards was the next thing you were chipping down on, and then
definitely, and even just saying yes to the kids, right? And wow, fun fact, and Michele warns me because she's a few steps ahead of me, that as the kids get older, they actually get more expensive. So now, it's the gymnastics bill and the baseball bill and the gas to drive them around to all of these different things, and this private lesson and this camp, and the list goes on. And I'm sure so many of you just comment and let us know, like, can you relate to that in any capacity of what stage of life that you're in? Because I know they're 9 and 12 now, and for a lot of things, I'm just getting started, and I totally know that, because it's just going to continue to get more expensive. And I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for the flexibility of that income, right, to be able to kind of ramp it up if that's what we need, and to work it around. So I'm so grateful for the flexibility of time and income.
Honestly, it's funny how with a different story, a lot of it is the same, because part of why Jen has been so successful right out of the gate is that she knew she had a specific need, and that, in order to pay down the student loan, this money was going to be dedicated to that purpose. So to pay more than whatever the minimum payment was at the time, because we all know making the minimum payments does nothing, right, on any bill you have. So to pay more than that every month and get it paid off. And that was kind of exactly the position I was in when I was getting started as well, because when I was starting in this industry 25 years ago, I was a teacher on maternity leave. And in order to make that continue to be a thing, to continue to be on maternity leave, I was going to have to come up with a way to make $600 a month to pay the COBRA on the health insurance. Because in those days, my husband was the one that was self-employed and we were on my health insurance. So what could I do to make $600 a month? Well, I had gone to a party and hosted a party about a year and a half before all of this. And the person told me that she made $200 doing my party. And I was like, oh, so I guess 3 parties a month and I'll be able to pay that bill. And that's exactly how it went down. In June of 2000, I did 3 parties. I made $604.62. And my husband and I were like, wow, all right. So I guess if you want $1,000, like, you do 5 parties. So I did that the next month. The month after that, someone wanted to join up. And I realized, oh, you get an increase for that as well. And good thing this was all figured out quickly, because I was already going to not be able to go back to school. Well, I could have gone back, but I would have been back out on maternity leave the very next school year, because I was now going to be having our second in April. So I just continued to stay out. And so now I had 2 16 months apart. Then it turned into I have 3 4 and under. And after that point, I did give up the position and stayed at that company for 14 years. And then Park Lane called me at that point, asked if I'd like to hear about our programs here and hear a bit about our direct appoint program, which was going to allow me to hear about the programs here and then potentially come here at the level that I was at my other company and every perk, that went with it. And when I came to hear all of that, I was like, oh, this is like a lot better than where I am. The base commission was higher. The overrides were higher. The fact that you were going to earn on your whole team instead of just special tiers of the team. No demotions, whether you are assigned a level or whether you promote to a level that you can never be demoted. Like, these were all things. Earning free jewelry every single month. All of these things were things that I simply did not have programs that did not exist in my previous company. And I was like, I'm going to have to make the switch, because if I'm going to go out and continue to build a team, I have to know I'm offering the best of what's out there. Because listen, none of you came on here tonight because you're like, I am really bored and I just need a hobby. Because if that was the case, you could go join a bowling league. You could be watching YouTubes to learn how to do latch hooks. There are plenty of things that you could do if you were all bored. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you all came here because you need some sort of additional income in your household. And if I'm going to teach another busy woman how to earn additional money, it needs to be the best program that, to my knowledge, exists. And once I heard the programs here, then I knew I needed to make that change. So the flexibility is what we're talking about here, because both Jen and I at the beginning days were operating around small children, Jen's case, the job as well. And then as we've moved through all the stages, right, Jen's in that elementary to / middle school age years where, 2 different locations, the lessons after the camps, after the, all of that. Whereas I've done that, moved on to the high school sports, moved on to the college move-ins, moved into the kids moving into the city, and, just all of those things. And now I'm on this like mostly empty nester, and I'm able to look at those on the team and say, okay, well, when I was at this stage, here's what we did. When I was at that stage, here's what we did. We have retirees on our team that either were able to reach retirement earlier because of their supplemental income, or got to retirement and were like, Social Security's not cutting it. I need supplemental income. And for 100% of the team, the flexibility is what makes it possible. Because no one has no schedule and just all the time in the world to do things, because whether those things are other jobs, family members, travel, taking care of elderly parents, taking care of family who lives out of state, pets, volunteer work, you all have things going on. And the flexibility of a direct sales business like this one here at Park Lane is what's going to really help you do that. So if you're looking for flexibility, go ahead and comment flexibility and stay with us as we talk about why here really is the place to do it, right? Because there are tons of different products out there that we could all sell. Your whole Facebook is full of ads of things that you could purchase, buy, do, give. So why Park Lane? Why jewelry in the first place? I mean, Jen, you've shared so many times how, you weren't really much of a jewelry wearer at that initial party, but what kind of changed for you?
Yeah. So I think one of the things is that my husband and I really looked at a lot of different opportunities that were out there. He's definitely the numbers guy in our family. And so we looked at, we looked at different comp plans. We looked at what that looked like as far as different product opportunities go, because I didn't have any experience in the direct sales field, but I definitely knew people that did, for sure. And so I knew the names of different companies, right? So we could go and look. And there was nothing that compared on paper to what Park Lane could offer us starting out, right? And the fact that there are a lot of people that have direct sales experience. And so the fact that Park Lane also can offer them a opportunity to come in at a leadership level that they have experienced at other companies. Everything was just like, this is a no-brainer. It makes perfect sense to give this a try, because if it doesn't work out, okay, that's fine. At least we tried it.
Right.
But like, why wouldn't it? Why can't it work out? And so making that decision was the best decision that we made. And Michele just ran off so many things. There was like no demotions, none of this, none of that, right? No quotas. And I'm so grateful that I never experienced that, that I got to experience the best version. I truly believe that, as I have had over the last almost decade, a lot of conversations with a lot of women who have shared their story with me. And we've got to walk through and have those conversations of like, that doesn't happen here at Park Lane, or that does happen here at Park Lane, and come experience what that, you know, that freedom can look like financially. And so that's really what, you know, was like, okay, I can do the sparkle. Like, we can figure this out. Like, I wasn't a jewelry person. I was like little pendant baby earrings. And yet, like, to be a part of the fashion industry, like, I would have never told, like, no, like, what, 10 years ago, I would have never thought that here I am, a part of something that just genuinely makes me feel good. And that, you know, even on the hardest days of momming, I can still put on a pair of earrings and a necklace and a beautiful bracelet stack, right? That I can look in the mirror and say, we can do this today, Jen. We got this, right? We got this. We can do this. And that feel good factor is so real for us as women. And to then have a community that comes around you and supports that is such a unique experience. Yeah. So Michele, I know that you didn't start with jewelry.
Right.
So what was that transition like, and how did that affect your decision making?
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. So yeah, I was absolutely in a product that was nothing jewelry related at all. But when I went on that interview, I knew that there's a market for everything, right? And I knew that jewelry is something that really everyone has use for, whether they are, if you're a bling person, and many of you watching are, many of you are a loyal customer of someone, and you're like, who doesn't like jewelry? And if that's you, like, yeah, you're good with the jewelry. But it's good to know that, like, even people that are not wearing a ton of jewelry do purchase it as gifts. It is a top gift item all year round because it's someone's birthday 365 days a year, anniversary, graduation, not to mention the upcoming holidays that are, you know, coming fast and furious. So really being full service jewelry with every kind of style, whether you're looking for something super blingy, super conservative to wear to court for your, you know, conservative type of job, whether you're an everyday, whatever it is, we have all the styles. So I was more going into that interview looking for what are the programs, because I knew, having 14 years of experience, that you have to have something that people want to buy, because both the quality is good and that the deal is good, right? So women are shopping for quality items at a great price. And then what does a host of a party receive? And is it worth it to host a party of some sort? And then because of those two programs, how do you get paid? Mm-hmm. So 100%, that's what I came in with looking. And when that's, you know, and that's really what you're all here to hear as well, right? Like, what are the programs here in this company that will allow me to make a living? And it's so important to know that Park Lane has been family owned and operated for 70 years. 1955. This is the Park Lane 70th anniversary year. And we've had so many fun and extra things happen all year long because of it. But when a company is family owned and operated from the start and still to the current, that means that they were able to operate things properly from the beginning. So even in those early days with that $3,000 loan that they started the company with, they were reinvesting right out of the gate, so that right away, those profits were being reinvested into owning more, like owning their own catalog printing and owning the jewelry, like, you know, house that's going to be producing the jewelry and stuff, so that there was always profit being reinvested into programs, because then that profit funds the sale, the hostess program, and all of our stylist payment programs. And as they were building the company in those early years of their marriage, they're building the family at the same time. And then a good 20 years ago, when Arthur and Shirley knew, like, hey, it's time to turn this over, 3 of the sons took over as co-owners. And now that whole second generation of not just those three brothers, but others of the sisters and brothers doing various jobs at Park Lane, their children doing jobs from payroll to jewelry design to everything. And then the little grandkids pulling raffles on Facebook Lives and all of this. This is where a family-owned and operated company comes into play, because clearly this is their family legacy company. We're on third generation hands-on in the company. So because it's their family legacy, it can be my family legacy, it can be Jen's family legacy, and it can be your family legacy, because we don't have to worry about Park Lane doing the things we've seen other direct sales companies do, changing the compensation plan, going affiliate, taking away hostess programs. All of the things that, unfortunately, companies that were not set up the right way to begin with, or the second, third generation didn't want them, didn't want to run a company. We just don't have that here. With all of that being the case, what are these programs, right? Many of you watching are already our customer, right? So you've shopped our unbelievable sale. And Jen went to a party as a brand new, had just had a baby, had a little toddler at home, and sat there and said, wait a minute, my two lowest price pieces are the only piece that are going to be regular price. I then get to take something that's $50 for $25, something that's 4 pieces at half price. So this cute little ring and this ring stack, and I get to do all of these half price. Wait a minute, that most expensive piece, that eternal necklace that I love so much, that's over $100, I get as a bonus item. Wait, there's style drops too, and a special color impression bracelet that I get to take for only $40 with a $40 purchase. Like, there's forever amazing new. There's the everyday sale, and then there's the style drops, the deal of the days, the steal of the days, all these things that go on is what keeps our customers so happy to shop with us, because time and time again, they're receiving jewelry that's beautiful, that has a retail value far higher than they paid for it, that is backed by a guarantee, and that they love, or the person they gave it as the gift to, they love. So when you have people loving that type of shopping, women have 2 parts of shopping, right? The head part, which is, this is a great deal. I should buy that because it's a great deal. But then the heart part is, I have to tell my sister. I have to tell my mom. I need to tell my parents from the bus stop. And then that becomes hosting a party. So Jen, people often think like, oh, it's party plan. My friends aren't going to have, my friends and family aren't going to sustain my business for 25 years. Yeah, fun fact, neither are ours. No. That's what the party plan, that's the beauty of party plan. That's the genius of party plan, is that when someone loves the jewelry, they can then invite their friends in to shop. And then Park Lane rewards them with hundreds of dollars worth of free and discounted jewelry. We don't pay for that. I don't pay for those hostess gifts. Jen's not paying for those hostess gifts. Park Lane pays for those. Yeah. And that's how we meet the next group of jewelry loving women who then want to share with their friends and their friends and their friends. And they tell a friend and they tell a friend, and so on and so on. But like, that's how the party keeps going, literally. And think about the genius of this, that who would have thought over 70 years, the changes to parties, right? Because even in our earliest days, both Jen and I, every party was in someone's living room or someone's backyard or someone's kitchen, right? But now it's Facebook Live just like this. It's pizzerias, it's bars, restaurants, taco parties, like all kinds of environments that you can have a party. Texting parties, Facebook Messenger, Zoom. Who knew how many environments women would have fun getting together to shop?
It's so true. It's so true. And some of those most creative ones, right, end up being the most fun when you roll out a, tray at the ball field, or
totally did that one time
in your, trunk and have a, literal like pop-up party from your trunk while, the boys are at practice or whatever.
Trunk or treat, forget candy, jewelry.
Yes. But it is, there's, we have such a cool opportunity in this day and age to be able to meet people where they are. all across the country. And that is such a cool thing, because in what world, right, am I sitting in California and Michele is on Long Island, and here we are, right? And that's exactly how many of us do parties as well, is that we get to use the things that are given to us to be able to just share who we are. And that's really what it comes down to in the relationships that we get to build with people all across the country because of Park Lane.
Yeah. And when you have solid programs that customers want to shop,
Correct,
and that hostesses want to host, that's what allows us to have this generous compensation plan, right? Where, it's starting at 30% commission, going to 50% commission. That was a number I didn't see. And not 50% commission on, what is that word that we don't use? We only base everything on
retail.
Wholesale. Like wholesale is not a thing. So like that's a big reduction. Like when people say, oh, it's 50% off wholesale. Well, that's a huge reduction to 30% on retail, right?
Yeah.
And that we don't even keep stock. Like the jewelry that I show when I pick up this whole entire thing of rings, if Jen was my guest at a party and wanted this ring, I don't mail this ring. We order this ring for her, right. Park Lane packages, puts it in a box, puts that box in a box, sends it to her house, and it's paid for by Jen, the customer, not by Jen, the stylist. And now, I'm guessing what pieces people will want to purchase, and I have all this stock in my house. That is not how you make money. You make money by showing samples, and then people pay for what they actually want, and then Park Lane sends that out to them. So that's a big thing. I feel really strongly about that. You don't want to keep inventory. That's Park Lane's job. Park Lane decides what we're going to carry. They keep the inventory. They guess how many are needed. That's not coming out of my pocket, right? There, people are placing those orders, and then I get to go on and do the next party and show the jewelry to the next people.
One of the things that I often get asked, and definitely a perk of Park Lane, and there's so many as a stylist, right? We've talked about the programs, and one of those programs as a stylist is that we get to earn free jewelry every single month. So when Michele holds up those rings, right? Those are things that she has earned, not that she has spent her. Hello.
Right,
Eclipse. Yes, they were. And so we both got those in the mail for free, just for sharing the jewelry, like we have just shared with you how we've done all of that. And that's huge, because I don't want to spend my paycheck on jewelry, right? I wanted, when I first started, I needed that paycheck to go towards my student loans, right? Michele needed that paycheck to go towards her Cobra. And so dipping into a paycheck is not the business, right? Like we want to help you to earn that jewelry for free, and use your money for your household goals. And that's such a huge benefit, that it's not like a quick start, like, oh, you can earn jewelry for the first 3 months, right? No, this is a forever and always. From when you start to however long that you are here, you have the opportunity to earn about $1,100 plus in free jewelry every single month. That's huge.
I mean, these increments, it's like, it feels like it never ends. Like, okay, I earned a $250 package. Now I earned a $300. Just the other night, I redeemed a $250, a $300, and a $300 all at the same time. So what is that? $850 worth of jewelry that is on its way to me, that Park Lane gave me, and that I'm using for all types of things, right? For fun extra giveaways, for having something different to show at Fran's party than I showed at Mary's party, and all kinds of things. Now, the only part that you would, so you say, well, there's got to be a kit or something, right? Like, yes, we do have a starter kit. The starter kit we always recommend is just the base model, $129. And for that, you get to pick out $500 worth of jewelry, as well as you have a website immediately up and running that functions for the whole entire year before you need to renew. So If you just liked everything you heard and you're like, I'm in, I want to buy a kit, then we're about to put a survey into the chat, into the comments section here. Just click that survey and let us know that 5, sign me up now. I'm excited. You want to order your kit. You want your website up and running, and let's go. That is totally an option for you, and you can be a stylist in the next 10 minutes, honestly. Now, what we will do for you to get you started is to do a launch party where we're going to do that party that we just spoke about, where you will be double and triple dipping, right? Because you're going to be the hostess of the party, where you're getting all that free and discounted jewelry, which is typically hundreds of dollars worth of jewelry that a hostess receives. But because it's also your launch party, at the end of the party, you're keeping the paycheck as well. And we're going to be able to tell you exactly what the paycheck was or is that will be available to you within a week, because we get weekly pay. And then you will have also gotten your kit. You'll also shop for your kit so that you'll have your hostess jewelry, your kit jewelry, an up and functioning website, a party that your friends saw all the jewelry, and, shows to go do with friends and family. And that's, how we love to get you started. So that can be either from a launch party, or it can be from what we call a decider party, where we do the party first. And then at the end, we tell you, here's the jewelry you earned. Here's the paycheck you earned. Would you like to go ahead and order that kit? And how great that paycheck is going to defray the cost of the kit and maybe even more. And there you go. You're up and running with a business. So these are the things you're going to see on the survey. Do you want a decider party? Check. Do you want a launch party? Like, sign me up now? Check. Do you want to just have a party? In other words, like, I don't want to sell, but I sure would like a free shopping spree. Check that off. Are you interested in our Sparkle Box? Amazing pieces this month, the month-to-month subscription. Let us know. Did we not answer your question? Put it in the comment section where you can ask additional questions, because when we will get that survey right away, and then the person who invited you and or their leader are going to get back with you, answer any questions you still need. And if necessary, and if this is what you're wanting, we will set up your launch party, set up your decider party, whatever it is that you're looking for to proceed on with whatever you liked, what you heard tonight. We are ready to do it, because you know what? We're in a fun place here. Like Jen mentioned, we are part of the fashion industry, and I have a degree in education. I did not go to FIT. I did not go to design school. We are like mom's part of the fashion industry, right? And we have a community here that is ready to support you. We have every graphic you need to post, every script for every party, themes, trainings, launches, everything that you need to get started, we have for you. So if you've ever tried direct sales and felt like you only ever spent money, probably you started something that you had to keep inventory, which we already told you we're not doing. And possibly you didn't have any help. It's different this time. You have the help. You have the launch party. You have the resources. And you're going to be in a place that's fun. Out here, there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of not fun out there, right? Maybe even your regular job, not fun. The situation everywhere, not fun. Here it's fun. Here it's positive. Here we have a great time and everything you need to be successful. So if this sounds good, let us know on that survey. And even if it doesn't sound good, let us know on that survey, because either way, you're going to be entered to win. And I already actually sneak peeked it for you. The prize for tonight's chat is this gorgeous Eternal necklace. Actually, I have a brand new one in the package, not this exact one, but so this is the Eternal necklace. Someone is winning this simply because you came here, you listened, and you completed a survey. Pretty easy, huh? So, Jen, is that everything?
I think we did it. Yes. Thank you for just chatting. I think it's always so fun to be able just to share what we love. And we can't wait to work with you really soon.
Yeah, we really hope to see every single one of you joining up or hosting a party or becoming a Sparklebox subscriber or whatever sounds good to you. But thanks for taking the time. We really appreciate you and can't wait to see all of your surveys. Thanks again, Jen. Have a great rest of the night, everybody.
Bye.